Let's do it. There'll be no funny outtakes this week.
Because we're too ill.
Yeah.
You wear the same shirt.
I don't wear the same shirt. I just have lots of blue shirts. Coming up, more bad news for Publicis Media.
We're going to continue our discussion around agency trust and transparency.
And finally, we have a question today on how to get into the media business. Hello and welcome to IDCOM's Media Snack, episode 12. So today, there's some unfortunately more bad news for Publicis Groupe Media in the US.
We're going to continue our discussion around the issues of transparency and trust that unfortunately continue to bog down the industry.
And finally, we have another viewer question. This time, somebody asking about how to get into the media industry and which are the most interesting bits. All coming up on today's IDCOM's Media Snack in just the time it takes to eat a sandwich. Okay, so first up, some quite big news that came out yesterday. In the US, we've talked a lot about the struggles that Publicis Groupe have had from a media perspective globally, and they've received another blow yesterday with the announcement that MediaVest, one of their own agencies in the US, had lost another one of their stellar accounts, which was Walmart.
That's right. So Walmart, the 13th largest advertiser in the US, they spend annually $900 million. A long time relationship with MediaVest, 10 years, I think.
Which is rare these days.
Which is really rare. Anyway, it was announced yesterday that they'd lost the business. We're not sure who the business has gone to. Actually, we weren't even aware that there was a review on.
No, because this is not one that had kind of appeared on our radar.
Yeah.
And as you know, we watch the market very closely. It looks like, it's a bit speculative right now, but it looks like an incoming CMO may have made a decision or influenced a decision or perhaps triggered a decision to change agency, because the comments coming from Walmart was that they were looking for a new model and a new approach, which is something that we've said that we'd expect advertisers to perhaps be doing, to be looking to create their own new blueprint for media agencies and how they work. But it looks a little bit like this might be just a shift of agency. But the kind of impact on that in Publicis is that it's obviously a massive blow.
Q1,
in terms of billings.
I mean, the first big announcement of the year is that Publicis have lost another one. Nearly $1 billion worth of billing. So if you combine this loss of 900 million with the reported 2.5 billion that they lost the end of last year, that's a combined billing loss of nearly $3.5 billion.
And this at a time, as we've talked about, when the company is trying to restructure its media operation. So it's another little stumble whilst the business is trying to reposition itself as a media offering to brands. It's not the greatest endorsement if they keep hemorrhaging big bits of business like this.
What they need is a win, right? They need a big win, and they need a win early. So, I mean, I can't wait, frankly, for a media snack where we can shed a bit of positive light on Publicis. Hopefully that'll happen really soon.
We're waiting for the good news. I mean, and actually in Europe, we know that Publicis were competing for the SAB Miller media review. And, the rumblings that we'd heard is that Publicis had gone very aggressively commercially on that with a clear aim to get an early win in the bag for 2016. But news out today suggests that MEC have retained that business. So, perhaps another little small setback for Publicis in Europe. So we're waiting on the first big win of the year.
So good luck to them. The second topic that we're going to cover today is a topic we've covered in a number of media snacks, and it's around transparency and the key issues that are concerning clients and advertisers. But it seems to be really toxic in terms of the concerns that these advertisers have.
It is. And the word has become a bit ugly, hasn't it, and a bit hollow, and it's much reported. and it's tended to focus on these slightly on the kind of more grubby and distracting areas. And our thinking was that the word transparency we just need to get the debate back to a slightly more higher purpose. Yeah. Because it's a fundamental business principle.
Absolutely.
Right? And there's a risk that the ongoing debates about transparency actually just bury us further into areas where there's just either lack of understanding and certainly lack of mutual understanding between clients and agencies particularly.
But it's not just understanding, it's a key issue around trust, right? And any good, strong relationship is built around trust. Yeah. And never more so with the relationship between advertiser and marketing communications provider, supplier. Yeah. As a marketeer, I need to trust my agencies. I want to trust my agencies to enable us to do the best kind of work. Yeah. So, but these issues are just dragging us down. We can't get beyond these issues in order to do the good work that everybody wants to do.
No, exactly. I agree. And I think it's, it's holding us back from that higher ambition, which is to get back to this kind of mutual understanding and trust. And, at last year's A&A conference, which I keep referencing, I think I talk about this every week, but it's so important. There was a really interesting discussion between Erwin Gottlieb, head of Group M globally, and Bob Ladies from the A&A. And they had this kind of fireside chat, which is very, very interesting because it tried to set the agenda high like this. And in that, Erwin talked about the need for better and mutual understanding between advertiser and agency, and that there perhaps was a loss of trust, maybe because of lack of understanding, but that's the thing that needed to be rebuilt. So I think they were setting out that transparency is a component of trust, and that transparency perhaps breeds trust.
So, but within transparency is a broad church. Okay? Yeah. So, but within transparency, what are the key issues that marketeers should be looking at to address at this stage?
And those are the insights that we need. And because of that, in the coming week, we're actually launching a survey on this exact topic. So it's the IDCOM's 2016 Media Transparency Survey, which we're issuing in the coming days. And we're looking at exactly those things. So we're not dwelling on the things that have been covered at length, whether it be ad fraud or rebates or financial practice. We want to understand how important is trust to create productive, collaborative business relationships, which is what we're obviously trying to get back to, and then to what extent transparency drives and breeds better trust as a business principle.
Because if you can identify where the issues are, you can address them and make it better.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the idea. So the survey will go out in the next few days. Very, very simple. We'll provide links to it, and we'd really value your inputs, and please share that around. And of course, we will be updating you with the results of that later in March. But it's trying to get to the hub of that. What is holding back development of better trust? And if transparency can breed better trust, what areas are people looking for greater transparency in, just to kind of help perhaps heal some of these challenges? Okay, so finally this week we have another question from one of our subscribers. This one is from Susie, who's a student in London. Yeah. How would you recommend that people get into the media industry these days, and which areas, in your opinion, are the most interesting?
It's a great question from Susie. What an exciting time to get into the industry. It is so dynamic, it's changing all of the time. Media sits at the crossroads of marketing, business, technology, innovation. If I was starting out now, absolutely would I want to be getting into media. You still have 4 obvious routes of getting into the industry, through the agencies, through the media owner, on the brand advertiser side, and now sort of on the tech side. But it's a really, really exciting time.
And it's a good question, because it's been quite well reported that the industry has kind of suffered a bit from a shortage of talent. And so, perhaps it made us think, really, perhaps the industry does need to do more to position media as a really interesting career opportunity, and perhaps be able to communicate a bit better, what the benefits are, because it is so interesting and so fast moving, and it needs constant injections of really, really good, smart, talented people because of its complexities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So come on then. So what does 21-year-old David Indo do now if you're looking to get into the media industry? Where would you go across those 4 different companies? Because they're 4 different things, because they're quite different, aren't they?
I would go straight into the marketing department of an advertiser, but not a Unilever or a Coca-Cola perhaps, although they are brilliant companies to work for. I would want to work for a disruptor, for a challenger brand that just sees things in a really different kind of way. Most companies now see media as a lever for growth. Media is high on pretty much every corporate agenda. And to be within that marketing department, making decisions, seeing how media can make a competitive difference to your business, I think would be really exciting.
And that's it. I think I would likewise kind of go on the brand side, just because, for the same reasons really, that is just really exciting. Marketers taking control now of media, getting really interested in media. But I think to make the point is I would go on the procurement side. That would be my option.
You'd make a very good procurement.
Do you think so? Yeah, great. Thank you for that. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But only just to illustrate the point is that I think where we see brands really succeeding in media in the future and finding competitive advantage, which is great for those kind of more challenger type brands, is when you have marketing and procurement working really seamlessly together.
Absolutely.
So if you went brand side, I'd come with you and I'd be your procurement colleague, because procurement creating really good structured discipline governance around media then liberates marketers to then don't go and do great work to kind of grow those brands. And increasingly today, success in media needs that very close and mutual relationship between marketing and procurement to succeed. I think for then the business to succeed on. So
completely agree.
That's it. We're not going to do that just yet.
Good luck, Susie.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Please keep the questions coming. Bye for now.
Have a good weekend.